Hello guys and dolls, and welcome back. I am super excited to bring you guys today's tutorial with the Senna Cosmetics 80s palette. This is part of a decades series, and I talked a little bit about these in my holiday palette release video thing. What I love about these palettes is that they actually have like a look on the inside that you can easily create with just the shadows in the palette. And when I saw this, I immediately thought of my friend Dustin Hunter, who's super obsessed with 80s glam. So Dustin, baby, this one's for you, hun. But it's also for my niece Layla, because she's minorly obsessed with makeup in general, but she was going through all the photos of my Instagram on Thanksgiving, and every time she'd see a rainbow eye, she'd be like, "That's amazing!" You know, that 5-year-old childlike joy kind of way. So Layla, honey, this one is also for you. There'll be a list of products in the description bar down below in case you missed something, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get started with the look. For an eyeshadow base today, I'll be using MAC's Painterly Paint Pot with a synthetic brush. This one is from Urban Decay. It's called the Domed Concealer Brush. So just get that on all over your eyelid. Okay, so for the inner corner, I'm going to grab the beautiful light yellow in this palette called Citron on a Smith Cosmetics 253. Just pick some of that up, and I'm going to pack it on. Looks like this are quite easy to do because there isn't really like a crease color or anything like that. It's really just a gradient, so it's really nice to kind of work your blending skills and come up with whatever works for you. So the next thing that I'm going to do is pick up Panic Pink from this palette. Pink. Panic. And I'm going to place that right next to the yellow. Pack it on, and this is a blush, and it's still going on like pretty darn pigmented, which is pretty impressive in my book. So once you have both sides on, I'll brush off the brush a bit, and then I'll blend between the two colors. Just going to give us a bit more of an orangey color. The great thing about a look like this is that it's one of the most easy eyeshadow layouts to do, even though you are concerned about getting it even. But you're not having to worry about the crease and the transitional color and all that, because it's a gradient that just kind of goes, you know, darker as you go out further, or just different colors as you go out further. You may need to grab more of one of the other colors while you're blending it. It's all part of the process. Next, we're picking up Ultramarine Purple, which is a gorgeous purple eyeshadow. Same brush. Amazing purple. These Smith brushes are so great for this process because they're a little bit fluffier, so they're able to really get a great blend. But also pack on color because they have the flat shape. And this little like tip thing makes it so you can do really like fine detail work. I highly recommend these brushes. I'll have a link below. I have a link for everything down below, actually. A little bit of ultramarine blue. Right here in the outer bit. Just kind of wing that out. So up to this point, we've been creating this sort of winged shape. So what we're going to do now is fill that in to make it look a little more 80s. We're going to be taking that colorful eyeshadow all the way up to the brow bone. So at first, I am going to go ahead and continue to fill out the wing with the blue because that's just where the blue needs to be placed. But then to give it that 80s vibe, I'm going to start filling it in with the light purple from the palette as my brow bone highlight. Now initially I went in with this really softly. I'm going to go in with it a bit more intense in a minute here. But it's all about kind of like building things and getting a sense of the placement at first. Next, I'm going in with that same pink from earlier and a fluffier brush, and then again I'm just building upon that, bringing the color up higher, kind of slowly testing the waters with it. Next, I'm taking the yellow, and for this, I'm actually bringing this up into the brow, which I loved. I should do this more often. This was a really fun look to do in terms of the color placement. Next, I'm adding the black in the outer corner. This is part of the original look, and it adds a nice framework for the look that we are creating. It gives it a winged shape without being a complicated wing. It's a little bit easier to do for beginners. And here I am packing on more of that light purple color. This is really a lot of like going back and forth and blending this and blending that, but it's not necessarily difficult to do. It's just something it's a little time consuming. So now I am doing all of my face makeup stuff. I put on my primer, which is the Hourglass Hourglass primer. And now I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I mixed 2 shades together. I will have a link of everything in the description bar down below, and a list of everything I use at vintageortacky.com. You see around the eye shape, I tend to be quite precious with it. I try to kind of stamp it on a little more carefully. That way I don't interrupt the outer shape. And now for my eyebrows today, I'm using this great Pixie palette. This is a palette that has a bunch of different brow colors in it. I'm using the black one because the brows are quite bold, and well, I wouldn't call them bushy. I would call them very natural in an 80s type of scent, not natural in the 2016 sense where it's a little more like defined and Instagram perfect. So I'm just running this through my brows to darken them. Got a little on my forehead. It's fine. Next, I'm going through again with another Pixie product. This is a double-ended product. This has a pencil on one side and then it has a brow gel on the other. The color of this is soft black. You can apply it more intensely, of course. I applied it a bit more intensely today than what I normally do, but this is actually a brow pencil I use pretty often. I love it because you can get it at Target. It's cheap, and it does have that triangular shape like a lot of the more high-end brow products that are out now. For my eyeliner, I'm using my trusty Makeup Forever ink liner and the Delium Tools 762. This is a winning combination. So what I'm doing with a liner like this is I'm creating a thicker line on purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and do that top edge of the liner first. I'm going to get that nice and clean and straight, etc., so on and so forth. And then once I get an idea, okay, yeah, I like that, then I'll go in and start stamping the coloring close to my lash line. This is a really great way to get a straight edge. Whereas when you try to build upon from just doing it close to the lash line, that's when things can get a little wavy and funky. Giving my lashes a squeeze with my eyelash torture device, and then I'm applying some false lashes. These are ones I've worn many, many times. These are a pair of the Katy Perry Kapow lashes from Allure. Again, Allure, if you're out there, I would love to be the new face of these lashes since you don't sell them anymore. Now I'm using a Smashbox mascara. This is the Indecent Exposure. I love it because it has a velvet flocked end. It's too luxurious. I love it. Now for liner today, I honestly can't remember if this is Urban Decay Abyss or if it was LSD. It was some kind of a sparkly blue liner. I am following this very closely along my own natural eye shape and not smoking it out and smudging it out like a lot of modern tutorials. I'm going for that authentic 80s look where you really follow the natural eye shape. Next, I'm taking a sparkly eyeshadow from Viseart, and I'm just applying that on my inner corner to punctuate the dark liner that I just applied to my inner rim. So this is sort of really underlining it. It's a little different from the way that we do modern makeup. Now I am taking the mascara on the bottom lashes, and by not having a bunch of smoky liner, my lashes actually look much longer. For blush today, I am using the Dusty, I think it's Dusty Rose, is the name? Dusty Rose, Dusty Pink. I'm using the other pink in the palette. So I've literally used every single color in this palette to create this tutorial. And I'm applying this blush in a stripey 80s type way. I don't think I actually caught this on camera, but I also put the blush on my nose because that was a super 80s thing to do. For highlight, I'm using this Makeup Forever one that comes in 2 different colors. There's a pink and there's a gold. The pink is absolutely my favorite. Oh God, just look at that. It's so soft looking. It gives you that beautiful glowy I can't even talk, I'm so happy with it. Highlight without looking chunky and funky and weird and overly textured. It's great for mature skin. It's also great for youthful skin. For my lipstick today, I am using the MAC Girl About Town lipstick that I'm minorly obsessed with. And then my gloss today came in my Sephora Play box. I don't know if you guys have that subscription. It's one of the few subscription boxes I do. It's like $10 a month and you get little samples. It's pretty cool. I like it. And then after that, I do a little dance break. I'm like, hey, I did this makeup and I'm so excited. So here we have the completed look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I had so much fun making this for you. It was sort of on the fly. I wasn't really sure what to film. Brought a bunch of palettes down that I loved and saw this and was like, oh my God, I have to do it. So I want to just give another shout out to these palettes. I think that they are fabulous. The entire Decades range is great. You can buy them individually or you can buy them as a set. I chose to buy them as a set because I wanted them all, and they have proven to be some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I've purchased. Let me know what you guys think of my version of Vlogmas, where they're not necessarily vlogs. It's just a bunch of regular beauty content, just kind of sprinkled throughout the month along with some vlogs and stuff like that. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.